Yes.
I think the country.
Turn on your microphones. Good evening, everyone. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 2 splits. Chapter 231 of Public Law 1975, be advised that a notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board, town hall, and mailing to the officially designated newspapers listed for meeting dates annually, indicating this meeting will take place town hall at 7 p.m. I'm sorry about that.
What is that? I don't know.
Let me see which one it is.
Nope, somebody's.
Well, then, do I turn on? Yeah, turn on.
That's a little too loud. It's too. On December 2nd,
Joseph Caulfield,
here.
Chandru Harjani,
Here.
Amy Lawrence,
Here.
Gary Rosen,
Here.
Regina Truitt,
Here.
Jessica Blatt,
Here.
Craig Plattner.
Here. So, we have no minutes
They were not done.
and no moralizations. Okay.
No, there's two.
There's
Oh, there, sorry, there are there. Oh, so I'm just thinking new business on top of the moralizations. I will do the moralization first, and then we'll get to that. First off, your calendar, 39/25/23 Lucky Express, USA LLC on 11 Mount Ararat Road. Any corrections or changes to that moralization?
But by the way, this is the boards where Eileen correctly pointed out a couple of typos in both the Lucky Express resolution and the Rubin resolution that were correct,
Thank you.
just typos.
Any other corrections or changes to that moralization, 39/25/23?
No.
Who's eligible?
Eligible are Joseph Caulfield, Amy Lawrence, Gary Rosen, Regina Truitt, Jessica Blatt, Craig Plattner.
May I have a motion?
Motion to approve the memorialization for calendar number 39/25/24.
One second.
I'll second.
Joseph Caulfield,
Yes.
Amy Lawrence.
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Regina Truitt.
Yes.
Jessica Blatt.
Yes.
Craig Plattner.
Yes. Calendar 4/008/24, Slush and Molly Kona, 162 Long Hill Drive in Short Hills. Any corrections or changes? Who is eligible?
Eligible are Chandru, Amy, Gary, Regina, Jessica, Craig.
No corrections or changes, can I have a motion?
Motion to approve calendar 4008-24.
In a second.
I'll second.
Chandru Harjani,
Yes.
Amy Lawrence,
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Regina Truitt.
Yes.
Jessica Blatt,
Yes.
Craig Plattner.
Yes. Lastly, we have calendar 4/005/24, 22 Oswego Lane. Any corrections or changes? Who is eligible?
Eligible are Joseph, Chandru, Gary, Regina, Jessica, Craig.
May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve calendar 4005-24.
Thank you. A second.
Second.
Joseph Caulfield,
Yes.
Chandru Harjani.
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Regina Truitt.
Yes.
Jessica Blatt.
Yes.
Craig Plattner.
Yes. Okay, a couple things first on this agenda. Calendar 39/93/24 is being moved to January 13th, 2025. That's Jonah Rathod, 61 Slayton Drive in Short Hill. So I'm here tonight on that. Application will not be heard tonight. There will be no further notice. And please check the website or go to Town Hall regarding that application. Any changes. Next up, we have calendar 4014/24. That's 19 Reeves Circle. That matter has been re-noticed for a later date, so there will be new notice on that. The date has not been determined at this point. So if you're here on 19 Reeves Circle, that will not be here this evening. So quickly have the matter of calendar 39/45/23, Mizrahi and Looney, but I don't know. Let's see I guess that's, those are the two last names?
Yeah, Lunny.
7 Park Circle, Short Hills, the applicant's requesting a 3-month extension for a previously approved variance. Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
Calm down. I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, okay? Are you changing anything regarding the variance you applied for previously as to now? Everything's gonna remain the same?
Everything's the
Everything's the same. I'm just filling you in why you need the extension.
same. So it's, the reason for the extension is the building permits can be filed within a 365-day period of when the resolution was published last year. At this point in time, when our construction drawings are done, the engineering study is done, we're just waiting for the stamp survey plan. And the survey company my contractor typically uses has been unresponsive, so we found a new survey company. I'm just not sure how long it's going to take. So I don't want to miss the deadline by like a technicality. We fully expect this to be submitted in the coming weeks. I just don't know the exact date.
Actually, it could be within the time frame, just to when you get the
Yeah.
survey back. Okay,
Yeah, we fully intend to submit a complete application. This is the last remaining item.
got it. Any questions from the board? All right, thank you very much. Then in this case, can I have a motion on, for extension, 3-month extension on calendar 39/45/23?
I'd like to make a motion.
Do you have a second?
I can second.
Thank you.
Do you want to do a roll call or?
As a roll call.
Joseph Caulfield,
Yes.
Chandra Rajani,
Yes.
Amy Lawrence,
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Virginia Truitt.
Yes.
Jessica Glatt,
Yes.
Craig Planer.
Yes. Okay, so first up this evening, we have application 400324, 34 Winding Way, Gurpreet Singh, come on down. Hang on a second, we just lost a member here, so.
Second.
Good evening. Oh,
Can you just raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in tonight's proceeding be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Your name for the record, spelling your name, please.
My name is Ruchi Thar, R-U-C-H-I, last name is D-H-A-R. I'm the architect representing my client, Gurpreet Singh.
okay, so why don't you go through your credentials first? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your education, how many years you've been in practice, and your, and where you've actually spoken from
Sure.
boards.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm here as a licensed architect representing my client, Gurpreet Singh. I have a Bachelor's of Architecture degree. I have an NCART certification. I hold an active license in state of New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. My license is in good standing, and I have testified before many zoning boards in New Jersey.
Your credentials are accepted. Will you also be speaking to the variances this evening?
Yes,
In
I
this case?
yes.
Okay. Please proceed.
So the subject property is 34 Winding Way, Millburn, New Jersey. Property is located in the R6 zone, lot is 11, and block is 1712. In preparation of the subject property, I visited the site. I believe you have all the drawings, exhibits are there too. And I'll be going over a little bit description about the property. The house that is existing, it's a colonial house. It's a 2-story structure and with an unfinished basement. The house has 5 bedrooms, about 3 bathrooms, and no car garage. And my client bought the property in, I believe, in 2022, and he was told that the conversion of this garage was turned into a family room sometime in like 2002. There's an existing asphalt driveway leading up to the, on the side of the property, and a walkway leading up to the front of the house. The previous homeowner in 2005 had filed a permit for the detached garage. Nothing was built, but it was under, it was filed basically to the building department. The exterior finish of the house is all vinyl with shingled roof, and most of the houses in the neighborhood
Keep going.
Oh,
You can move this mic
are
back or
mostly
something.
colonial style homes with attached garages. Is it echoing?
It's just getting a lot of feedback.
Can you hear me now?
It'll pick it, yeah. it'll pick it up.
Okay. I'm going to now review all the variances that are getting triggered for proposing a two-story addition on the side. We're proposing an addition on the left side of the property, if you see and face the street. This addition overall is about 626 square feet. It's a two-storied addition. On the first floor, we have the garage, which is a one-car garage. Above is a multi-use room, basically, for the family to use. I'm going to go over the variances for this addition. It's the side setback for the structure up to 18 feet. Required is 8 feet, provided it's 7 feet 6 inches. So a C-type variance is getting kicked in. Another variance that I'm going to talk about is the additional side setback for structures over 18 feet. Required is 10.28 feet, provided it's 7 feet 6 inches. So C-type variance is getting kicked in. Combined setback variance required is 35%, which leads us to 26.6 feet, provided combined setback is 19.4%, which is about 14 feet 958. Again, C-type variance. And the last is the FAR. Required is 36% and provided is 41.3. A D4 variance is getting kicked in for a 5.3% increase. I'll briefly go over the unusual condition, the special reasons for this ask. It's the irregular.
Before you get to that, regarding the FAR variance.
Yes.
What's the current FAR of the property?
It's 3,930,
So what
which
percentage is that?
includes,
So the max permitted is 36%, what's being proposed is
Yeah, so
41.3% for what's current.
current is 35.6%
Thank you.
and allowed is 36%.
Go ahead.
So I'll talk quickly about the special reasons. Number one, the site is irregular shaped. It has a very steep slope at the back of the property. In fact, right behind the retaining wall the fence that we are proposing, it's basically the entire area is a very deep slope. It goes from 15 to 20 feet.
Would you just mind turning, like?
Yeah, we can't see what you're referring to. Thank you. Is anyone in the audience that is here on this application, you'd like to move down front, please do so if you'd like to see the exhibits.
So the entire back portion has a steep slope, and we're giving a fence here, and this entire area is not usable. So the best place and the best scenario we could think of for garage is in the front, which would be closer to the street, and we have a 15 feet easement at the back of the property. So there's no, if you look at the site plan, there's no typically a backyard for the homeowner to enjoy. This was the best location we could think of in terms of the garage. I know one-car garage is like a requirement for the ordinance, the township, and the house unfortunately does not have a car garage right now. It would be helpful for the homeowner to have one-car garage at least, especially when it snows, that he can park his car inside, even though that's like the smallest we could think of. I do not see an increase in the traffic if we are proposing for this addition. I don't see the property value getting affected. In fact, it would appreciate the value of the property if we build the garage in future. And the aesthetics of the house is kept into mind. It would match what is existing. We propose, if you look at the elevations, we have vinyl siding, we have asphalt shingles, so it's matching the existing house. And in terms of the rainwater or the stormwater drainage, it would either get connected to the existing storm sewer that's going to the main street, or we can direct it at the back, which is a steep slope. but nothing would get affected on the side of the property.
What's the purpose of the 15-foot easement in the rear?
It's a stormwater easement at the back.
So what?
Storm sewer easement.
Thank you.
Take us to the elevations.
So that's the front of the garage. That's just the room that the family can use in terms of as a usable space above the garage. And in terms of the material, we're using board and back and asphalt shingles. We use the board and back just to give a little nicer treatment to the house in terms of elevation. And most of the houses in the neighborhood are colonial style. They all have siding and asphalt shingles, so it's going to merge well with the surrounding and the neighborhood.
So is the room above the garage, I mean, you described it in the application as a sunroom.
Yeah.
But is that gonna have windows facing the house to the left of the property facing?
This side, yes. Yes. This is the front, this is the back with the Juliet balcony, and this is the side facing the neighbor.
And how far is the house next door to those windows?
So to the property line, we have like the minimum setback is 7 feet 6. That's the minimum out of all because the site is sloping at the back, that's the least we are getting at one point.
But the house next door, what do those windows look out on?
It's a
Windows in another house?
single-story ranch on the house next to it.
Right, and how far is the actual house from yours? And we realize it's 7 feet from the property line, but I think it's 60 winding way. Sorry, 20.
I think you submitted some photographs,
Yeah.
excuse me, showing
I don't
both
have
the
the,
subject property as
Yeah,
well as
there's one.
that neighboring property.
so I don't have the exact dimension, I apologize, but we have some trees which are medium-sized, and what the homeowner is planning to do is take out these trees and relocate them on the property. And this is the house that's next door, which is the ranch, and I don't have the exact dimensions to the property line, but I can get you there.
So there's current trees in the area where the construction is being proposed.
There's the driveway. So the trees are basically pretty much sitting on the property line, inside the property line.
Okay. Can you show them where they are on the plan that you have out? Approximately where it's located?
So the trees are somewhere here within the property line. It's his trees. So this is the driveway that's existing. This is the whole asphalt area. If you look at the some other pictures. The exhibit A to B. This is that driveway area where the addition would come. So we're basically taking out that asphalt driveway and having the one-car garage here sit on top of that impervious area.
But the issue that I was trying to get to is, if you have a room above the garage that is close to the property line, getting closer to the property line, will your client be able to look into the next door neighbor's house? Are there going to be any trees that are going to block the view? That's what I'm trying to get. So I really care about whether there are trees that are next to the addition, not further up on the driveway.
Right. So answer to that is right now, and again, township, the house has changed over time. It's a ranch. It's only single story. But who knows? Maybe they build something in the near future. The distance here is 7 feet 6, but it widens to 14 feet at the back. What he can do is relocate these trees somewhere here, if that would be acceptable to you, or reduce the number of windows there on that side, if that's not a concern.
Yeah, I'd like to see a plan B on that fenestration. I think it's
Okay.
I'm kind of in lockstep here with what Gary's saying, that if you look at your, I guess it's exhibit A2D, that house is very close.
Right.
And by you now getting on top of that property line, I mean, those windows are technically 7 feet now off the property line. Another, 12 feet in the air, whatever it's gonna be. That's a lot of windows staring in down at the neighbor and staring at you. So that's not a great situation when it comes to privacy and that type of thing, especially when we're talking about a 7-foot setback. I mean, that's,
At one point, yeah.
yeah, right.
Right.
That's pretty tight to the property line. And since they have a double car garage, they're at their property line too, for the most part,
Right.
Not, obviously not measuring it, but, they're pretty close also, so that's a concern.
Is that, would you be okay if we reduce the number of windows or make it,
Well, reduce is a relative thing, we'd have to receive it, you have to redo the drawings and
Okay.
resubmit them for review.
okay,
But I think that's, FAR is a whole other thing, but I think before we even worry about that, like I said, I'm very concerned about how you design that.
Mhm.
With the amount of, then you got a balcony on the back too, is that balcony go on the balcony?
no, it's a dually,
It's
just
just
for
strictly,
viewing,
it's strictly for
just
aesthetic.
for viewing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And that was the whole purpose, like they wanted to look at the back, even though there's just, there's nothing there, there's drainage easement.
Right.
But still come closer to the nature because they don't have a backyard. At the back of the house, the steep slope starts suddenly. So 1/3 of the site is kind of not usable because of that. So the variance is more for the site setbacks and the FAR, right? If we make changes on the drawing, let's say we reduce the number of openings or make it the wall, solid wall to keep the privacy, is that something we can submit to the board as like a condition? Would that be
no, I
okay?
wouldn't do it that way. You'd have to be reviewed by the board.
Okay,
So you have to carry and resubmit drawings that, that would address this concern. Unless you have a plan B that we haven't seen, but some architects do show up with a plan B. But, otherwise you have to resubmit, because, for me, I would have to see I'm only one of 7 voters, but I maybe echoing Gary's concern too, but I would still have to see something with considerable administration where it's only 7 feet off the property line.
okay.
Sure. Just for the board's edification, can you point out, looking at the plan that's in front of us, where the family room currently is that was once the garage?
So there's a key plan here, and this was the garage. So if you see the site plan, the driveway goes until here, the end of the property. So what we know is that this might be the way, even though it's so hard to maneuver, I don't know how they did that, but they turned this into a family room.
So it's like a 1-car garage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the original.
The old tax records, that's what it shows.
Thank you.
Right. So, how would you like to proceed? Would you like us to come back with maybe something that's,
It's my applicant, so if you want.
or you,
Yeah.
if you want to come up, we have to swear you in, but
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about the tonight's proceeding be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Your name for the record.
Gurpreet Singh, Gurpreet Singh.
go ahead.
Yep. So, we didn't have garage. We bought the property. We're told that there's an open permit. It'll be pretty easy. But when we started the process, it's the whole new process, and that's where we are now. And for the top sunroom, we don't have, as Ruchi mentioned, that we don't have backyard. It's like at least not safe with we have little kids. It's pretty deep slope, almost 20-30 feet, and then down to the creek. And it's almost like a cliff. And so when Ruchi was designing the garage, I told her maybe if it's possible, can we create some space on top of the garage where we can sit and we were starting with a deck so that we can sit outside, still being not worried about the cliff with the small kids. And then we came to like, okay, with the flat roof surface, there's other problems with the snow weight and all that stuff. And then thought maybe we can cover it. And then the design evolved, and then we came to the sunroom, having as many windows as possible, so that it's kind of an open space. We can enjoy all season long. So that's what our thought process. Yes, I agree that it's pretty much open to the side. We have right now, there's the whole driveway line is trees, which are 10, 12 feet. And honestly, I love trees. I put in my backyard where the slope is, it's at least 15, 20 trees lot. And I planted some more in my front yard also. And we're planning, the trees are like 7 feet away from the structure we are proposing. We can try our best to keep these. If we can need to move a little bit around, then we're gonna try to save all this. And we can plant more trees also if whatever trees are good for having the privacy. And if we need to reduce the windows on that side, we are open to that also, or whatever modification needs. And if nothing works, the main thing, I need a garage. So open space would be nice to have. And also for the neighbors, the neighbor property, their garage is pretty close, but it's 2-car garage. Their actual house living is 2-car garage and then further. So I don't know what their future plan will be, but these are just my comments.
Thank you.
Sure.
Why do those windows slide open though? I mean, if you slid all those windows open the way you have in the drawing, there could be noise, everything else. Like I said, being 7 feet away from the property line, that's a major issue.
The sliding opens.
The way you have it right now, they're almost like sliding glass doors.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to discuss the safety factor of that, but.
We initially thought about these crank opens,
We
then we
put
thought
the
it's,
grill in the front.
The way
We
you have
the
it right
screen.
now is you
We
have
have
them
the
like
screen,
they
yes.
slide.
We
So-
have the screen after the windows for safety factor,
Right.
so that obviously no kid steps through that. But we can take into consideration to reduce the size of the windows facing that property, if that's a concern, and then we can increase some of the drawings and come back.
Yeah, I mean, make the rear yard facing.
Yeah.
Larger if you want more light.
Yeah.
Um,
in the rear yard, we have the door,
Yeah, the door, the
With
French
cap-
door. right now.
the French door. We're trying to keep it more open so that we can open in the summer and nice breeze comes in. But if there are concerns, yes, we're fine with, I think, anything.
Okay. So I think when can we do this again with a relook? One quick thing before, because the garage is above ground, meaning you have floor area issue problem with the garage
Yeah.
as well as the room above it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We were just
So you're
on
589 square feet, but you're about, what, 375 on the actual sunroom or something like that?
So we were already very close to that number, the existing FAR.
Right.
And since we add the garage, so garage is basically 303 square feet. It's
Right.
just bare
Yeah,
minimum, one
23
car.
by
Right.
whatever it is.
It was kicking in the FAR because of that, because in Milburn, the FAR in the garage area gets added to the FAR.
Right.
In some townships, they take 450 square feet out of the FAR. So that pretty much created everything, like the side setback, the combined side setback, the
Which should
FAR.
exacerbate the FAR by the room upstairs. Right.
Yes, slightly, because that's exactly, like, that's 323 square feet upstairs.
Right, which is about what your differential is. We had 1%, is that what it was?
The total was
You're allowed 36%.
41.3, so we were increasing the variance by setting 5.3%, more than what's allowed. So allowed is 36% and ours was coming out to be 41.3.
And your existing is what, 30, you said 35? Is your existing?
35.6, yes.
Got it, okay.
So in any way, these things were getting triggered.
Yeah. So So we go, Ellen.
I mean, I don't know how long you anticipate this would go on. I could squeeze them on the 16th, otherwise we have to carry them to January and then for schedule.
Well, this way, if we moved you to December 16th, which would be our next meeting,
Mhm.
you basically have to have these drawings done by tomorrow or the next day,
Okay,
By Friday.
by Friday.
by Friday. Do we have to issue the notice again?
No, you don't have to renotice
Just
unless-
12
unless-
sets?
Unless you're exacerbating
Right.
the issue, which I would like to think you're not. So, no, you can keep with your notice you have right now, but we would have to have time to get it into our system and then distribute it to the board. Can you do that?
By
Can you redraw
Friday?
by the end of the week?
Yeah.
And have it submitted to the township?
Yes, can do that. We need 12 sets.
What do you think? How many sets do you need?
1, 2, 3,
Well, like 9, 10?
9, 10.
Okay, we make that change.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you for that.
Sorry, so clarification, so we are reducing the windows on the side or?
Yes, we keep the privacy factor in place and make some changes on the elevation.
Sounds good.
And those windows that are above the transom, how low are they in terms of inside? You know, like from floor, like the
sill height?
drawn down below. So you have your transom window above that, your window's above the existing windows, that's glass, right?
Are you talking about
Yeah,
this?
is that glass?
Yeah, that would be all tempered
Okay,
glass.
so what's the bottom of that transom there, okay? How far is that off the floor height? Meaning that if I stood in that room, am I looking out that window, or would it be above the,
That would be above the vision. And again, we
like,
are
would they
going
say like at 8 feet?
right. And
Something
since we are having a cathedral ceiling inside the room, because there are also 2 skylights, so obviously you can't have
Yeah, you can put
that
a
without a cathedral ceiling. Now, when we reduce these windows, our source of light is going to be one facing the street and then the one at the back and the skylights up on top.
Right, like I said, the transoms, as long as they're above, you know.
Yeah.
That's
And
not-
they'll be tempered glass.
Okay, so December 16th, you're okay with, so unless you're even here in the audience, it's here on this application. But if we move into December 16th, you'll be hearing at that time, there will be no further notice.
Yeah, with regard to when you're coming back, I saw that there was some data that you submitted in terms of the square footage and the lot areas of not just the subject property, but some surrounding properties.
Okay,
For purposes of meeting the proofs for the FAR variance, you may want to expand that information, provide additional ones so the board can make an informed decision
Mhm.
as to justification potentially for the FAR variance.
so,
In terms of looking at FARs of other properties in the surrounding area.
okay. I believe there was some data on the,
You provided for a few homes,
yes,
but you may want to,
do more. Okay,
based on the tax map.
yes, okay, we provide more.
I have a question on that. 2 of the properties, one across me and one house down on the right side, they recently got some plan approved for their extension and they're expanding their areas. I don't know how we can get that information from somewhere.
That's
because-
public information.
Okay,
You know, it's not gonna be in the system yet probably, but you certainly can reach out to the building department. And they should have all that. I can't remember if we issued floor area issue on the one across the street from you. I know they had a bunch of things there because of the curvature of that lot. But I'm not sure if they wound up making it comply. I don't remember. One of those two. So, but yeah, you can just do some research on that.
Okay, if it is something we have to open an overall request for that, that's going to take longer than Friday.
Well, I mean, then you gotta work with what you can get, right?
Right.
So,
And that's information that can be presented by way of evidence at the time of the hearing.
Okay,
And it's actually in the minutes, which are on the website, so you probably would be able to get a lot of it.
okay, that's helpful.
yeah, what they applied for and
Right.
was subsequently.
As long as resolution was approved, I can take that.
Yeah, the
information.
resolution on that property, it was obviously being built, so
Right.
clearly it was approved in the purpose of it.
Okay, sounds good.
So, okay, thank you for coming in this
Thank
evening.
you.
Next up, we have calendar 401224, 55 Locust, Ashton Lindra.
They are sworn in at the same time. You both just raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about you given tonight's proceeding be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your name's for the record.
Ashwin Mundra.
And just your name, sir?
Andrew Podbrezna, I'm the architect.
Just spell your last name.
Podbrezniak.
Thank you.
Who would like to start? Would you like to start?
I'd like to start. I mean,
Go ahead.
I had not realized how complicated and complex this process would have been. Just so that I first the statement, and we had to send like hundreds of close to that to all variances, letters, and everything. Didn't realize how much my kids would be pestering me, how long it is taking. But the reason here why we are here, we were trying to build 2 bedrooms for both of my kids. I've been in town for the last 7 years in Melbourne. We never thought we would need the space, but our jobs require now both me and my wife who's here to work in nights because, and those 2 rooms which we're using for our 2 kids, 10 and 6, are now being converted to offices and in the evenings, and we are having real issues. So we had to go and get that done. In fact, even when I was coming here, one of the rooms was used being as an office. The other room, my 10-year-old was working with the 6-year-old who threw the 6-year-old out. 6-year-old came running back saying, I need my own room. Hence, we are proposing 2 rooms at the back. I think it requires some FAR adjustment, but we're trying to make it as simple, as quick as possible, which can be built.
Very good. Will you be presenting architecturally as well as the variances?
Correct.
Come on forward, let's hear your credentials.
My name is Andrew Podbrezniak. I'm a licensed architect, state of New Jersey. I finished New Jersey School of Architecture and GIT. Received my license 4 years after, and then in my own practice for at least 20 some years. I testified before the boards, numerous municipalities, and I also testified here a couple years ago.
Okay. And you said your license is in good standing?
Yeah, license,
Good
I'm
standing
licensed,
with the
insured, in good standing, correct.
All right. So first question I have is we're going to attach an E on this. Is that just because we're just using it off this?
They changed the whole, this is the new board application. I did not create it, that was changed. So this is the new application, and I'm expanding on it as was, there was no attachment A and no new. I have convinced them that we need an attachment A because I know that's what we use. So future applications will have an attachment A because I've added one, but this was,
That's
I know. So,
so you just have to go off the zoning table then?
yes.
Problem is that FAR is not on it. Oh, yeah, it is. All right. That's not your problem. So go ahead, why don't you start the show and see what you got?
All right, so the existing house is a colonial Tudor on a property of 8,900 square foot, 60 across, 150 deep. The existing house is already built almost to the maximum. We only have a 7 feet side yard setback and 7 on both sides. And what we're planning to do is basically put a second story addition over the rear shed dormer, extending the dormer over the existing deck that is in the back. We stepped in on each side the addition, so we don't have the issues with side yard setbacks. One issue that we have is basically floor area ratio. The existing floor area ratio, what's required is 36%. We are at 34.69, and we are asking for 43%.
Before you continue, is there still a side yard setback variance, because you pull one out in the zoning table?
No, there should not be a side yard setback variance.
Okay, so it says proposed 10.9 feet
Right.
to the addition.
Side yard setbacks, it's required. The existing house, it's non-conforming as far as your side yard setback, but my addition does.
So you have an existing non-conforming side.
Existing non-conforming, correct. And basically what we did, we didn't line it up with the side of the house, we stepped in, so we have no issue with the side yard setbacks.
Their side yard setback is good, their combined side yard setback is not. It's
not.
Yeah, that's
not.
what it says.
Right.
Right, it's the combined side yard, but their individual side yard setback.
Right,
Okay,
but
well,
not
that's
zoning
not,
too.
yeah, that's wrong.
No. 60 feet, that's how it is.
So there are still two variants.
Well, but our combined side yard setback is
This says
supposed to be,
combined side yard setback
Yeah.
is conforming.
it's conforming, because we are supposed to be 35% of the width of the property, which is 21 feet. 60 feet, 35% of 60 feet is 21 feet. Right now, I'm
6.78 on the left side.
but that's
and you're
that's existing.
I understand that.
Right.
But the way we do combined side yard
Mhm.
setback is we'll take the 6.78 on the left side and your proposed 10.9 on the right side
Both sides,
for the combined side yard setback.
then yes,
So
then we
you
have
are
an
not
issue,
conforming.
correct. But once you take the addition itself, this both side yard setback combined would comply. There would be no issue with this.
I wasn't noticed.
Leave a notice for that, because that's what I cited them.
Because on each
yeah.
side, we have a 10.9.
Combined side yard and FAR.
What's that? Combined side yard
Yep.
and
They
FAR.
did
So-
notice for that.
So Eileen, so for the combined side yard, what is permitted and what is proposed?
Proposed is. Proposed is 29.3%, which equates to 6.78 plus 10.99, 17.68. 29.3%, where 35% is required.
30 what percent?
35 is
35%.
required, and 29.3
Thank you.
is proposed.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it says.
Your,
It's all back.
your max coverage shows going down. How did you do that?
Because we actually not going, we're not covering any more property because we're going directly over the existing deck. So the deck is already covering the,
Right, so you're actually making it smaller than the existing?
because we're removing a section of the deck
Oh, okay.
on the side, a tiny bit.
Got it. All right, what else you got for us? Need more meat on the bone than that.
So just to explain again, the side yard setback, each side yard setback was existing non-conforming, right side and left side. My addition complies with right side and left side compliance. Now, once you add the right and left side as a total of just of the addition, then I'm complying also. Except I'm stuck with the existing house that has been built non-conformingly, and then now that triggers all the side yard, total side yard setback.
Okay, we got that. Let's speak to the FAR though.
Okay, the existing FAR is right now at 34.7%, which is 3,120 square feet. We are allowed 36%, so that would only leave us 127 square feet for the addition. We again wait as tight as possible. We're only putting over the existing deck, so we're not encroaching anywhere on the side over anything over. You know, it's all in the back, in the center of the property, the addition.
I mean, I'm not, you know, you got a lot, your lot's 9,000 square feet with 6,000 square foot minimum. I mean, you have a hugely oversized lot. Yet you're this is a huge deviation. You're 7% above the required, the required. That speaks to some enormous massing.
Well, it's existing house that there's not much, it's there, and it's an old Tudor house.
I think another issue is that you haven't really presented any reasons for the FAR. I mean, we can't take into account that the homeowner had to turn the bedrooms into an office. Like, that's not, I mean, as an architect, that's not criteria that we take into account.
Well, their existing family is growing, I mean,
But
Once again, that's their
Yeah.
use, our decisions run with the land, so.
I do understand this, but that's the reason. I mean, basically, their doors needs a bedroom, the bedroom with the bathroom and a closet. Right now, they're sharing a bedroom. And I think the owner can explain more.
Maybe it's not it.
You heard me speak to the prior applicant where I suggested that they get information showing the FAR of their property as compared to the FAR of other properties in the neighborhood. Have you presented any of that information so far?
No, we have not. We don't have that information.
You have to get it, I mean, the problem you have here is when you have a lot that's this large, okay, you're 50% larger than the required in the zone. Okay, there should be some evidence showing other houses in this neighborhood that have, 7% deviations on a lot that's 50% larger than the minimum. I mean, that's a big deviation, because you're getting the benefit of the 50%. All right. And now you're going another 7 above that. I mean, 43% FAR, a lot that's 50% larger than the zone, is a huge deviation. And that really does speak to the massing. It's gonna be a big structure, hugely. So I think you need to put more meat on the bone and sharpen your pencil. So you got to, because you haven't really met the criteria. That's the bottom one.
All right, we'll get that information.
Wait a minute, like, so,
Come on, Paul.
yeah, like, I've already spent $10,000, now we have to spend more time and effort on this?
Understand something. As your professional there, his requirement is to meet the positive and negative criteria of whatever variance you are requesting. He has not done that anywhere close to it. And if you would like us to.
How do I know all these steps required, like this guy has to do
I'll be
this?
honest with you, you should hire a planner. Okay, an architect's fine, but a planner is usually someone who is more well-versed in trying to present the deviations and how.
There's only one deviation in FAR, and we need it. We urgently need it. I can't go home right now to tell, like, wait a minute, we don't have a permission right now.
I understand,
Like,
that's what you need. The problem is that.
We can cut the size of the bedroom. I need an answer right now. Like, if it's 5%.
We can vote.
And even if it's like
Then would you like us to vote?
and then you will vote probably no, like the way you are acting right now.
I'm merely telling you, we have a threshold.
So what is the threshold? Like, now we want.
He is the first present even a case that remotely puts us in the end zone. Just saying, I need bedrooms and I work at night, that doesn't, our decisions run with the land. And what we mean by that is whether you're living in this house or the next person's living in this house, this FAR and the size of this structure lasts forever. Okay? We don't care what you do inside your house. We honestly don't. Okay? We have to look at it and say, hey, can this neighborhood and can this lot withstand this much size and mass? FAR speaks to mass. Okay? So when you have a 9,000 square foot lot and a 6,000 zone minimum, and you're trying to go 7% above that, that is a massive structure. Massive structure.
Even
So-
though we are not adding anything, we're just going above our deck. We're just not
Once
trying to
again,
get
massive,
it as.
right? Okay, a deck here, you're building this, okay? That speaks to the volume of the structure, the development on the piece of property. So you have to say to the, or your professional has to justify to the zoning board how your plan is beneficial to the zoning plan and master plan, not detrimental, beneficial.
how is it detrimental to the plan? Can you explain me why, how, what?
It's not.
How this addition is detrimental?
Once
Sir,
again,
sir.
that's for him to prove.
Yeah, the board is here to listen to the proofs that are presented by the applicant through not just an architect, but sometimes a professional planner, and sometimes presented through an attorney. And applicants, including residential applicants, often hire those professionals to help present the application, as the chairman stated, in the hopes that the applicant can meet what's called a positive and negative criteria to get, in your case, the FAR variance relief. So the burden of proof is on the applicant. You're no different than any other homeowner in Millburn. They have an obligation to meet the proofs under the law, and the board analyzes those proofs and votes accordingly.
So what's the next step you're suggesting? Like, how do we make this reality? Do I need to hire, like, who, what
Well, I
needs to
suggest you
happen?
get with your architect, okay, and decide whether or not he thinks a planner would be beneficial here in trying to get these, well, in case of FAR, explain to the board sufficiently that it's something that makes sense for this piece of property. That hasn't happened. Just asking.
And can I ask, I think Jessica, you came to the property, like, what was the survey or reaction on that?
We're not here to answer we can't do that, okay? We're not here to answer your questions on what any one of us think. We strictly have to go off the information that's presented to us. We don't pre-analyze.
So if I understand, I should, like, we need to present, like, why FAR is beneficial for the township, this
Like,
extra.
why you have to say is why you have to go 7% above the FAR on a lot that's 50% larger than the zone. Okay, how that is benefiting the zoning plan and master plan of the township, among other things. He's familiar with the criteria, Art.
Typically, it's not, homeowners aren't typically expected to know that unless you're, you know.
I would have not even called him. I had no idea that he
It's-
was even
it's-
required.
It's not that you know, that typically homeowners wouldn't know these things. That's why you hire a professional to help you in, you know, I mean, that's between you and your architect of, you know.
Furthermore, floor area ratio variance is a higher standard
Yeah.
than someone coming in and just say side yard setback. So you need 5 affirmative votes out of 7 of us, not a majority, which is 4 out of 3. You need 5 out of 7. Because this variance is considered to be a more significant variance in the terms of municipal land use law. So I suggest you speak to your professional because I'm surprised you haven't been notified of how this all works.
I came to the township, I came to, I think, Eileen, I just wanted to know what would be the process. I came 5 times to the township to understand. I think I recommend that anybody like me who is novice, who's trusting the system, needs to get like a list. You should hire a planner, you should do this, you should do this. I texted him, like yesterday, hey, you should show up. I would have come without anybody. I would have just come presented this. I had no idea. Like, this should be a listing. When you're presenting for variance, here's FAR. You need all of these criteria. You hire a planner, do these things.
Well,
I would have hired it. I would have hired from day one that thing.
The township is not there to tell you how to do this. I mean, it's strictly if you have variances that are needed, it's up to you to consult proper professionals to get your application through the zoning board. I mean, this is a municipal land use board, so yeah. I mean,
Who are the
well, you hire an architect, right? He should tell you what you need. Okay? Right, that's why you hire a professional. You can't.
I only hired because I was told, hey, you need a variance and hence you
Well,
need
who
to
drew up
hire.
the plans? You on the back of a napkin?
He drew
Okay,
it
he should
because
know. He drew them. He drew them up. He knows, hey, we're building this thing too big, so we need a variance for this, or we're too this on the lot. I mean, everyone's here with a professional. I mean, it's impossible to get one of these things in the end zone as a homeowner unless you are, you know, an attorney that has some general idea of municipal land use law, or a planner yourself, or an architect. There's a lot to this. So once again, I suggest you sit down with your architect and have him explain to you how it works. You pay them.
so what's the quickest next step? How do we do this? Like, I want to
You
understand
talk
that.
to your plan. You talk to your architect.
And when's the next date we can get? I would like
I was
December
gonna say,
16th.
not December 16th.
It's not, that's impossible.
Yeah, so I said that's up to you. You have to basically rewrite this whole thing, or at least hire someone that's gonna help you out. So, what do we
I
got?
mean, we don't have an agenda, we don't have dates for,
Right.
so we could carry it to the 13th. for
Carry to the
scheduling
first date
purposes.
that's currently,
We
what
could carry
we
it to
know.
the 13th, which we've already noticed.
For scheduling
For
purposes.
scheduling
scheduling
purpose.
purposes only.
Right, so we'll put you on the docket for technically what would be the first meeting of new agenda, but since that is not been adopted yet, and will not be
Well,
adopted.
January 13th was adopted last year, so we do
Correct,
have
but
that.
the rest of
the rest
the
of it,
schedule,
yeah.
right, has not been adopted as of yet, so, which will be in after the first meeting of the new year. But right now, we'll put you down for that meeting. If you have any issues with getting materials, please.
I know, we'll take care.
Okay,
Thank you. Sorry for my
I understand your frustration.
frustration.
This is not
I have to
for
go
layman.
back. Yeah, and I did not realize this. This would take
Yeah.
more and more. I'm understanding this process is way more arduous than I thought like this would be.
I understand. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
So is this carried
Oh,
for
sorry.
scheduling purposes
For
or?
scheduling purposes, this application will be carried to January 13th.
Yes.
No further notice. And if there's anyone here this evening in the audience, we will see it at that time. Come on down.
Quick clarification.
I'm sorry?
Quick
This is on this application?
No, it's a different one.
All right, what do you got?
For 19 Reeve Circle, you mentioned something at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, I said that earlier. That is being renoticed for a later date, so that has not been established at this point as to when we'll hear that case. It's gonna be next year, but we don't know when, so,
We'll
but-
be getting another notice.
I will get another.
You will be
right, so
getting.
there'll be another, are you a resident of the area or?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll get something sent to you, your registered mail, most likely, at some point, okay? All right, and lastly this evening, we have 51 Linden Street, calendar 401724. Good evening, folks.
Both gonna speak tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Let's read both in the same time. Do you swear from testimony you're about to give in tonight's proceeding be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Your names for the record, please.
Tabitha Gillum.
Carolyn Young. Carolyn Young.
Who'd like to go first?
I can be quick here. Thank
Great.
you for hearing us. I'm the homeowner. We live in a 100-year-old Sears kit home in the historic Wyoming neighborhood. We've been there for about 8 years and we love our home, but it was designed for a different time. There's an awkward first floor layout. We're a family of 5. Our oldest child is 11, and we have 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom on the second floor. We have been contemplating moving. We've looked at many houses over the years. We have looked at lots of different floor plan arrangements. We've become more and more committed to the Wyoming neighborhood, to the schools. We really would like to make this house work for our family and future families with a floor plan that flows and offers us a mudroom and a kitchen that functions and a gathering place and a bedroom for each of our children. So we think that this is a pretty modest addition that will make a world of difference in our lives and hopefully make it a better home for future families as well.
So Ms. Young, let's qualify you first.
My name's Carolyn Young,
Yes.
registered architect in the state of New Jersey. My educational background is Cornell University. I've been licensed since 1989, I think. I've had my own practice for 28 years. My office is located in Morristown. My license is in current standing.
And you've presented in front of boards before?
Present in front of many boards. I've been in front of your historic board several times recently, and I know I was here at least a decade ago, but I haven't been here recently.
Okay, so obviously tonight we have the trifecta Florida issues.
Yes, we
So before we get too deep into this one,
Yes.
I see your ask is, well, shall we say, less than most. Are you prepared to speak to it in a way that can actually get this thing done?
I hope so.
Okay, then let's give the old college a try.
All right, in many ways, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. I feel like in many ways, what we're here to talk about regarding floor area ratio is a little bit of the complete opposite of the last project application that you had before you. As Tabby said, the house was built in 1922. It's a lovely old home. It's lacking in contemporary family needs, i.e. more than one bathroom, a family room, a nice kitchen. So we do think the addition that we're asking for is relatively modest in bringing the house into a much more contemporary lifestyle usable state. We do have a zoning chart on our drawings, which covers the existing conditions and the proposed and the zone requirements. So want to make note that the lot is undersized in this case. This particular zone has a minimum lot size of 14,500 square feet, and the lot that we are working with is 10,000 square feet. That's a little bit less than 70% of the minimum lot size per the area, per the zone. We also have an undersized lot width. For the zone, the lot width minimum is 75 feet, and we are working with a 50-foot wide lot. Existing conditions that aren't going to change. The existing home does have a few existing non-conforming entities related to side yard setbacks and combined side yard. Each side, one side is 8.65 feet, the other side is 7.58 feet, and the combined side yard is 16.2 feet. Those are all less than the minimum yards that would be required. Those are existing non-conforming conditions. We also have a front yard setback where the front yard for the zone is 40 feet and we're at 39.84. That is unchanged with the proposal that we're presenting tonight. So currently the dreaded FAR topic, currently the house does conform. We are allowed 30% of the lot size. So for our undersized lot, we're allowed a 3,000 square foot floor area ratio. The existing home is 2,374 square feet, and our proposed addition is adding 777 square feet to the house, the building, and it's bringing us to 3,101 square feet, or 31.01%, where 30% is allowed. The addition, looking at this, because we did this back in September, I realized our drawing is indicating existing floor plans here in the lower left-hand side. So you see the basic layout of the first floor, the second floor, and there is a habitable attic space that exists up in the roof. And then you are seeing the proposed first floor plan, second floor plan. I apologize. I'm calling the first floor a second floor on the drawings. It's a typo.
I understand, so we're referring to drawing ZV1,
We are,
okay? And what's on the bottom center that says second floor plan proposed is supposed to be first floor plan proposed?
correct, yes.
And we're gonna mark this change and this exhibit as A1
Yes.
for today's date.
Okay. Sorry about that. Computers, what are they good for? Here we have the proposed first floor where you can see we are not really touching the living room and dining room area. Our addition is a combination of a one-story addition, which creates a mudroom and a powder room on the first floor of the house, and then a two-story addition, which extends the kitchen to create a better usable kitchen with a family room beyond it. The second floor, again, existing bedrooms are remaining. There is some manipulation to try to improve some usable space, but the addition is the second floor is creating a master bedroom with a bathroom. So again, getting that extra space on the second floor, getting another bathroom and bedroom area. There is no change to the attic. That just exists as it currently does. So, and the second page includes elevations of the existing house and the proposed modifications. The front elevation is really unchanged. The sides, rear, and side elevation are all where the addition is. The addition is lining up with the side of the east side of the house and extending towards the rear. There is a boxed out window that projects 1 foot on the east side, which is why there's a side yard reduction from 7.58 feet to 6.6 feet. The house is actually a little off square, that's why that's a little more than a foot difference on the site plan. And at the bottom, we also have photographs showing existing conditions of the house. The house is in the historic zone, and Tabby has already gotten historic approval for the project.
Is that been memorialized yet?
Yeah.
It is.
So obviously, architecturally, the goal has been to respect the existing house. Tabby said, has said to me, and didn't emphasize so much to you, but they love the old house, they love the character, they love the details, they want to be respectful of the existing home. And architecturally, that's one of the goals. So as far as hardships, I think that clearly a 50-foot wide lot where 75-foot is the minimum lot width is a bit of a hardship. Of course, the house was built in 1922, predating your zoning ordinance, and they put the house where they put it, and the existing side yards are what they are. Other than that 1 foot, other than this small bay on the side that projects 1 foot, we are not altering the side yard setbacks. As far as the FAR, obviously as an undersized lot, it's a little more difficult to comply with the FAR percentage. As you were commenting before with prior application, lot sizes generate a certain size of house according to the FAR for the zone. If you had a 14,000 square foot lot, you would have a 42, am I doing my math right? 4,200 square foot house.
In R5, is it 46%? No, 36%.
It's 30%, I'm sorry, 30%. But if you had a 14.5, I didn't do that math.
42. Yeah. If you had a lot.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
Right, your floor area should have max would be
4,350.
4,350.
So obviously the zoning for this area is contemplating houses that are over 4,000 square feet, according to a larger lot size. Our proposal is creating a house that's 3,100 square feet, significantly smaller than the contemplated FAR for the zone, appreciating that it is an undersized lot, but with a lot of 10,000 square feet, it would be difficult to achieve a house with the living spaces that we would want today without exceeding the FAR. And we're only over by 1%, which I think, given that it's an undersized lot, is a relatively de minimis amount of overage.
When you did your FAR calculation, did you continue this out to that two-car garage? I just find it amazing that we're able to keep this thing at 31% with that large garage on this lot.
The garage is 370 square feet.
Yeah.
From the front street.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, it just
Yeah, yeah.
it's a compact house, existing, and everything has been done to try to keep it relatively compact for the addition.
Indeed.
Yeah. Often houses are not as efficient as this, and when we are presenting and arguing for FAR and other conditions, sometimes it's more difficult to explain because you have to have hallways and you have to get through spaces and you have things that are just sort of restricting you in a way that forces you to add additional space in the project. I think in this instance, it's just been as efficient as we could possibly do.
You heard my similar question to the other FAR applicants, which is whether you did an evaluation of other FARs in the surrounding neighborhood. I'm actually looking at your streetscape considerations and the homes based on the aerial that you show, 49, 53, 45. Did you take a look at the FARs of those properties?
We really didn't.
Let me ask it a different way.
Yeah,
I'm looking at 53, which is to your left
yes,
of your property. It looks like that home, the rear of the home is set back further than your existing.
yes.
If your addition, is it going to generally line up with the rear of 53? You just can't tell from the aerial, but
53 is to the left, one
Correct.
facing the front.
yes.
Um,
Given that you're not adding to the front, but rather adding to the rear.
Added to the back, yes.
Yes. I'm not,
It should come
Come
up.
on, so.
yeah, I have not gone into their yard and measured it, but it is something that I considered as I kind of staked this out in our backyard and looked at the distance from our garage to what we were proposing, and the corner of their house is actually very close to the corner of our garage. I do think it's in a very similar space.
Thank you.
And it also looks like the house 2 doors to the right, 45, is considerably larger than your house.
Yes, it's very new construction, I want to say 3 years ago. I believe it's an extra wide lot, but it is very large.
Thank you.
Anything further?
I just conclude with, we hope you'll receive this favorably. We think it's an improvement to the house, adding necessary spaces, and is a reasonable request.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Couple, just a quick question. On this sheet, I think it looks like the 1 or 2, the second floor plan existing. What is in this space? Is that a bedroom? Are there 4 bedrooms
No,
existing?
It's an office.
It has a staircase in it that goes to the attic, so it can't be considered a bedroom. It's used as a home office currently, and I saw a guinea pig.
Yes. Yes, my husband shares the space with the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
The guinea pig's bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no closet.
Yeah, it doesn't qualify.
So it's currently a 3-bedroom house?
Yes.
And you're going to make it a 4-bedroom house? Thank you.
Just, you submitted the survey as part of your application. And the extension is going to be 20 feet off the back of our house, right?
Yes.
The neighbor to the right has a garage that's in his backyard.
Mhm.
So that's only 5 feet further back, so it's like a whole bunch of structures all in one row.
The, oops, sorry. The garage of this property lines up with, pretty much with the garage of the property next door.
Right.
And yes, the addition is here. I mean,
I mean, like from the back of the addition you're proposing to the front of the neighbor's garage, not our garage, but the neighbor's garage.
mhm.
Just a whole bunch of, a lot of buildings in there with a little alleyway for light and air, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about 7 feet. But on a diagonal, it's more than that. On the diagonal, it's about 16.
No, I know, but hypotenuse will give you more.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think obviously all these garages that are sort of lining up were probably, I don't know the history, but they were probably added at some point because these houses may
Yeah,
have been built
predate
with.
cars.
Exactly, they predate cars, so,
Honey, too.
so everybody was like, yeah, I need a garage, I need a garage, I need a garage, you know. That's probably just the way it evolved.
Any other questions? Let the record reflect that there's no one in the audience for comment regarding anything else, so I will close the public portion. Board members, your thoughts?
I'll start. I vaguely remember actually sitting as the liaison to HPC when you came before us. And just to give all of you some context, you know, we were very impressed with the application. We think that it was very tastefully done. We love to see that someone is taking a historic home and kind of just making it like up to modern day standards, but without going too crazy and still maintaining the character. So I would say that I think that you have done a really beautiful job with this. Yes, there's an FAR, but I think that you've made a very good case for why it's necessary. I think there's clearly a hardship here with the undersized lot, with also in terms of the setbacks, the lot width, the undersized width. And I think moreover, the property itself can handle the massing that will go along with the FAR, with the 1%, overage. And I think that you've done a really great job. I would be happy to support the application.
Thank you.
I would echo Jessica's comments. I think 1% on an undersized lot seems not much. And if they were at the size for this zone, which is 14,500, this would be much below 22%. And we ask the 30% is the requirement here. So I think from that perspective as well, it just does not create that massing that the FAR would typically entail. So I would be supportive of this application as well.
I echo the comments of my colleagues, and certainly you've made a case that there is a hardship, particularly with width. That limits your ability to do a lot of things, but 1% FAR I could be comfortable with in consideration of that project.
I too agree with the sentiment of the board. I think from a C1 or C2 perspective, both criteria have been met. The overall project, I think, is well within keeping the lot size, considering it is substantially below the R5 requirement. So I think it's well executed, and we're stuck to land. Anything further? Do I have a motion?
Just remind the board, this is an FAR variance, it requires 5 permitting votes.
Yeah, we're gonna vote them together now, let's do it together.
I'd make a motion, for the entire application for approval.
A second.
Joseph Caulfield,
Yes.
Chandra Harjani,
Yes.
Amy Lawrence.
Yes.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Regina Truitt.
Yes.
Jessica Glad.
Yes.
Craig Fleetner.
Yes, good luck with the project.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Once again, let me know there's no further comments from the audience tonight regarding anything that's not on the agenda. So we'll ask a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Do you need my drawing since we came up? Yes.
Yes,
And
since
exhibit,
it's been more.
just as easy, one or both pages?
Just